under the police, traffic cops and what have you. They were blocking the road for people from Johannesburg. Yes, Mr. Mogane.
We continue with the cross-examination of Sergeant Mogane. We've received the logbook just a short while ago. We're just making copies of the logbook.
How big is the logbook?
It's about 5 pages.
5 pages only?
Yes. It starts on the 1st and ends on, I think, the 22nd or so. It's not a
1st of what, June?
Yes, it's just 5 pages.
So
20.
The defense needs time to study it or what?
Well, I would imagine so, not an awful amount of time. But just
okay, just again then until what? How much time do you need? 5 pages.
Sorry to interject. According to Mr. Baloyi, the copies are wrongly made. Incorrectly made. So
okay, incorrectly made.
He says it's a mess up. I really want to use that word, my lord. So he's going to make proper copies for us. So I think 30 minutes.
So you don't have copies at the moment?
We don't have copies, essentially.
Okay, Mr. Baloyi?
Yes, indeed, my lord. We just asked someone to make copies and they've been jumbled up. We just request, I think, about 15 minutes that should.
Okay, you let me know when you're ready. Okay, we'll adjourn until then.
As a court, please, my lord. The state begs leave to hand up the logbook of Sergeant Mogane as Exhibit MM3.
MM3.
Brackets 3.
It's in respect of which
the
motor vehicle?
Of Sergeant Mogane for the dates from the 1st of June.
1st June.
Yes, up until the 19th of June. And it also incorporates 29 May 2020 until 31st May 2020.
29th May 2020 until 31st?
The 29 May until 31st May.
Okay.
It's page 5. Yeah.
Okay. So the defense has been finished with these
yes,
logbooks.
Indeed.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
My lord, it has been handed by agreement.
Right?
By agreement, man.
Handed in by agreement.
That's correct.
What does that mean?
That means, my lord, after we have been finished with the copies, we agreed to, because there's nothing in dispute in relation to
the logbooks.
Hence, we don't see any reason, based on the reasons for the application by the state initially, to reopen examination. That is mainly based on the version of accused number 2.
So the logbooks, the contents of the logbooks are not disputed?
Are not disputed.
Now, when you say by agreement, are you saying in terms of section 220, you are formally admitting the contents of the logbooks?
That's correct, ma'am.
Is that so, Mr. I'll come to you. Is that so, Mr. Baloyi?
Well, I think we can also use section 213, agreement between the parties.
213?
Yes, we haven't consulted the rest of council.
That's the point, Mr. Mnisi.
We don't have an objection, my lord, on behalf of accused number 3.
Mr. Nomano?
Thank you, my lord. I have no objection in respect for accused number 4. Thank you.
No objection, my lord.
Okay. What does 213 say? Just read it for us.
As a court, please, my lord. Section 213 states the following. Proof of a written statement by consent. In criminal proceedings, a written statement by any person other than an accused at such proceedings shall, subject to the provisions of subsection 2, be admissible as evidence to the same extent as oral evidence to the same effect by such person. Subparagraph 2, the statement shall purport to be signed by the person who made it and shall contain a declaration by such person to the effect that it is true to the best of his knowledge. It appears that
that section is not applicable.
Yes, it's not
Yeah,
applicable.
220.
It refers to a statement, so that would be
I thought I was going to
section
call it
220. That's
afresh.
correct. Yes.
So in terms of section 220, it is admitted that the contents of how many of these logbooks? 3 logbooks. 4.
Well, there's only one document, my lord.
Oh, one document.
Yes, only one document.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of section 220, it is admissible and it is agreed that it is so.
As a court.
Okay, thanks. Okay, fine. Right, so what happens after this?
My lord, it must also be made clear before this honorable court that as the defense has requested the AVLs for the 22nd and 24th, it has been submitted by the state that the Toyota Fortuner was not used on that particular day. So
The 22nd
the 22nd and the 24th.
and the 24th.
Correct, my lord. So another motor vehicle was used, but there was no tracking device according to the state.
Okay.
So in relation to the logbook on the said motor vehicle by Mr. Mogane,
Yeah.
nothing has been furnished to the defense in relation to the confirmation thereof. As per our discussion with my colleague, Mr. Baloyi, he indicated that before the conclusion of the cross-examination, he will place it on the roll that the information relating to the logbooks for Mr. Mogane will be canvassed with Brigadier Gininda.
With Brigadier Gininda.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay. Is that so, Mr. Baloyi?
Indeed, my lord. The search has been launched for those logbooks, and if and when they are located, they'll be handed up through Brigadier Gininda.
Gininda, okay. That is the logbooks of the 22nd and the 24th.
Indeed, my lord.
Okay, fine. Right, so what happens after that?
And also the 5th and the 25th.
And the 5th
The 5th as well as the 25th.
and the 25th.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, the court has noted that.
God bless.
Right?
My lord, may I proceed with cross-examination?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Mogane, I've got a few more questions for you. I believe the last question when I asked you, if we go back to the 19th of June 2020, the proceeding was it page 83?
Ntate Mogane, ka pele ga gore re tswelele pele nke re lena le sa le ka fase ga kano ya gore le bolela nnete go botlhatsi ba lena My Lord, before we proceed, we have just confirmed that Mr. Mogane is still under oath.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Do you see the time reflecting 1828?
Le a bona nako mo e reng 1828.
Page
Which page is it?
31.
21
31.
or 31. 1828. You want 1826.
I see 1826.
Starting is one now 1826.
Yes, below that is 1833.
Ka fase ga moo e re 1833.
Below 1826.
When is the date?
What is the date?
The date is the 19th.
Bardi 19.
Yes. 1828.
1828.
Yes.
Yes, do you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
It says the start up the motor vehicle.
E re koloi ile ya dumishiwa. That is correct.
Then it was driving at
Napile
Chris Hani Road.
ya khwetsa mo mmileng ola wa Chris Hani. That is correct.
Yebo kuqiniswa ke bhaliwe ukuthi imoto iyadunyiswa yase iyashayela noma iyahamba ke umgwaqo eKhrizani
1833 at Dlamini, Soweto.
Ka 1833 e bontsha gore lebele le Dlamini Soweto.
Excess idle.
Le a bona gore ebe e duma. That is correct.
so iqiniswa ukuthi ngo1833 isedlamini noma yayisedlamini eSoweto iyaduma
1834 it's also idling, excess idling.
Napile ka 1834 e bontsha gore le gana mo we ya duma. Yes, I can see it.
ngiyabona ukuthi nango 1834 yayiduma
1842 it's driving from Koma Street.
Ka 1842 ya khwetsa go tloga mmileng ola wa Koma. That is correct.
qiniso ukuthi ngo1842 iyahamba ke kwistrado iKoma
All right. So at 1911 it reflects incident. Was it still in Soweto?
Napile ka 1911 e bontsha gore go na le tiragalo be sa le Soweto. Yes, it shows like that.
nanjengoba ushoke ukuthi ngo1911 iyatshengisa ke ukuthi kunesehlakalo noma isigameko yebo lokho kwakwenzeka ke kusesiSoweto
Was it before you arrived at Moroka police station?
E be ile ka pele ga gore le fitlhe police station ya Moroka. We had already left Moroka police station at that time.
ngaleso sikhathi ke sasesiphumile ke police station yaseMoroka
Relating to the evidence that you have already tendered before this court when you left Fosloras court, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you were in a hurry to fetch the keys and the USB for the late Sergeant Mabena. Is that correct?
Bare go ya ka tlhatsi bo lefaneng ka bone lena le rile ge le tswa forong ya Fosloras lena le be le kitimetse gore le do lata dinatlolo le USB ya mohu Sergeant Mabena ke nnete.
ke nnete be re ya gona go e checka.
That is correct. We were going there to check for it.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kumele-ke Foslorasi sasesijahele ukuthi siyobheka ikhiya kanye nayo-ke i-USB yakhe ongasekho uSergeant Mabena.
So there's nothing prevented you when you departed from Foslorus Court destined to Moroka Police Station from using a freeway.
Ga gona ntho e le tshireleditseng gore le seke la shumisha tsela ela ya freeway ge le tloga kgorong ya Foslorus le ya Moroka Police Station.
Nka tlhalosha so yona be so mara gantši very shumisha discretion ga tsona ka be ka se re na lo change ditsela for the safety of ourselves or re tshireletsega.
Indeed, there was nothing, my lord, that was preventing us from using the freeway. However, sometimes when we use our own discretion, especially for the safety, because we have accused people, then we would use alternative routes.
Impela ke akukho okwakusinqabela noma kwakuzivimba ukuthi sasingasebenzisa ke u-freeway kodwa ke inkathi eziningi ke siye sisebenziseke noma ke sicabangele thina sebenzise yethu imicabango ngoba ke sibheka udaba lokuvikeleka kwethu nokuthi sihamba ke nabasola sishintsheke umzila noma ke umgwaqo esihamba ngabo.
Yes, that I understand and I appreciate it, but the fact is you can change the route, but my worry is you stopped more than 3 times before you reach Moroka Police Station.
Ba kwishisha gore lena le ka khona gore le fetole ditsela le be tshetse le gore lena le ka rata go di berekisha go ya ka mogwele gore lena le naganne ka bona eupia selo se le gore se a ba tshwenya ga njwale ke gore lena mo tseleng ya lena rebele ya Moroka le eme nako tse ka fetang tse tharo go ba maga a fetang a mararo rebele ya Moroka Police Station.
Nka se fetolo ga go gopola re eme ga ti ena kola re reka metsi le dizimba mala ka nong go potsa gape ga gore phosha dira yona maybe a ke a bona mo ABL list.
I would not be able to respond to 3 stops. However, you could maybe remind me. The only stop that I remember is the one when we went to buy water and then we drove to Moroka. However, maybe a mistake happens. You may be able to show me, as I did not see it on the AVL. I did not see those stops on the AVL.
Mhlambe wena kusuka njengisake uma uthi ke sema amahlandla amathathu mina ngikhumbula ke lehlandla leli esema ngalo sothenga ke amanzi kanye nama chips uma kuukuthi angikubonanga ke la kumbiko we-AVL mhlambe usuka ngikhombisaya.
All right, just for the benefit of your information, I won't go as per the way I was asking you. I'll remind you that you stopped at the Ring Road. Do you remember that?
Ba batla le go potsa ba ka se ka mkgo ene gore bentse ba le botsa ka gona batla le go potsa gore lena le ile la yema mo mmileng wala wa Ring le sa gopola.
That
is correct.
Ebokuqiniso sema ke Ring Road.
You stopped at Chris Hani Road.
La yema gape mo mmileng wala wa Chris Hani.
I
do not recall us stopping there, but I am listening.
Just to remind you, I even said you stopped there for 10 minutes.
Do
you remember that?
Pele ke fetola re ka boela go yona ka e bona gape because a re nya go fetola ntho ke sa gopolang because mabane o tšatšela mabane le fetile.
Before I respond, my lord, can we go back to that point, because I do not want to respond on something that I do not recall, as yesterday has passed.
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ngiphenduleke lapho ukuthi ngemali ngizuze ishumi eChrisani eRoad ngicela ke sibuyele kuloko ngaphenduleki ngingayazi noma ngingayikhumbuli ngoba ke elayizolo ke selidlulile.
All right. Let's go to 0601.
Barre go 0601
and 0611.
0611.
Same date.
Are you referring to the same date?
06, same date, the 19th.
Bar lona letšatši le wela di 19. Yes, I can see it.
Ngiyayibona ke manje.
And 0611, do you see that?
Le 0611 le yes, I can see it.
0611 ngiyabona.
You said GPS unlocked until or near Krisani Road.
E ngotšwe gore GPS unlocked mo mmileng ola gaufi le mmila ola wa Chris Hani. Yes, I see it.
Ngiyabona ke la bhalwe khona ke ukuthi GPS unlocked eduze ke nomgwaqo eKrizana.
That was the second stop. You agree?
Ore ke mo beleng hona gabedi la bobedi.
That's a good place, Mogane. Can council maybe indicate on what basis does it say GPS unlocked is equivalent to bringing a vehicle to a standstill?
No. I didn't say that. I said it reflects, according to the AVL, it shows GPS unlocked. That's what I said. Maybe I didn't hear myself, but it reflects GPS unlocked. Is that not so, Mr. Mogane?
Ba re go ya ka AVL ye e bontsha gore e ngwadile GPS unlocked.
Ka mabane ke le fetotse ka lo tsore GPS unlocked a ke tse re ra go reng mara a sanga ra ema go bala be re driver.
Like I responded yesterday, my lord, I said I do not know what does GPS unlocked refers to. However, I recall that we never stopped. We were driving.
Bengishilo ke izolo ukuthi GPS unlock lona ukuthi usho ukuthini angikwazi lokho noma angazi kodwa ke ngikhumbuleke simile sasiqhubeka ke sishayela noma sihamba.
All right, let's get to the third one. 15 at 15:58 you were driving.
Kanako rebe ire 15:38 lebele kweja. 15:38. Is it 15:30 or
15:80? 15:58.
15:58. Yes, I can see it.
Below it, it's 16:16.
Kafas rayona ire 16:16. 16:16.
Oh, 16. Yeah, okay, 16:16, 05 seconds.
Yes, I see 16:16 and 05 seconds.
In terms of the AVL, what were you doing there? What?
Oyaka AVL, irrebelli dirang mo. The vehicle ignition was turned off.
Ngoba le AVL ke ngo 16:16 lona ke ngibuzwa ngaye imoto icishiwe
until 18:28.
Official 18:28. That is correct.
Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kwaze washaya ke 18:28.
Were you still going to fetch the keys and the USB?
Libel sanje lido lata dinotlolo li USB.
Ka tshetse ke tlhalositse re fitlhile kwa ke ka mogare ga police station ya Mogane.
As I have previously explained, we arrived inside the Mogane police station.
Bese ngichaziwe ngaphambili ukuthi safika kwakungaphakathi police station yase Mogane.
Sergeant Mabena tsena ka mogare.
And Sergeant Mabena went inside.
Wangena ke uSergeant Mabena ngaphakathi.
Gomme ba sala ba mthusha tsero mo church office kana kana ba go tsena go etelle gore ba founele motho a lebetse go di key mo office ya gagwe.
And
USB.
I think he was assisted at the charge office but with maybe calling the particular person whom he had left his keys and the USB.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ke babemsiza khona ke e-charge office ukuthi ke baxhumane nalo muntu ayeshiye ikhiya ne-USB e-office lakhe.
And gape ka re beile ka la bohlano batho ba chaishitse na go fihla ngola.
And again, as it was on a Friday, people had already knocked off when we arrived.
Futhi ke kwangolesihlanu abantu ke babesebe shayisileke bephumile emsebenzini ngathi sifika khona lapha.
And he explained that they informed him that that particular person was coming, so he had to wait for that particular person.
Uchazeleke ukuthi bathe kuyena umuntu loyo ke uyeza acela ukuthi amlinde.
And that is the reason that made us to stop for such a long time.
Isizathu ke leso esabangela ukuthi ke simeke lesikhathi eside kanje.
Who will come and confirm that evidence? Because who will come and confirm that evidence? Because Sergeant Mabena is no more, and there's no name of the person Sergeant Mabena spoke to.
Kimang okatlang a tlilo tlhatsela dilo tse di bolelang a dumellana le tsona ka lebaka la gore lephodisa Sergeant Mabena ga sa phela gape ga gona motho o ileng gore wa bolelwa leina la motho le le bolelwang gore Mabena o be a emetse mang. If I knew who that person was, I was going to tell the court. However, I did not see that particular person as I was seated with Mr. Danzi in the vehicle.
Kumele ufuna ukwazike ukuthi manje ke isiqinisekiso salokho sizotholakala kanjani ngoba ke uMabena akasekho ke emhlabeni, alikho ke negama lalomuntu angena akhuluma naye ngaphakathi. Uthi uma bekuthi bengilazi igama laloyo muntu bengizoyitshela ke lenkantolo ngeshwa ke mina kanjani ngimbone ngangihlezi noNtanzi emotweni.
I'll ask the court to reject that part of evidence.
Barbone batlo khopela khoro gore e gane botlhatsi bowe balena bo khibo le bolelang ka bone ba gore lile la yema Mabena a tsena Mabena a tswa a le tlhalosetsa ba re batlo khopela gore khoro e gane botlhatsi bowe.
A ke tsebe khoro e tla decide gore ya botse gore ba e botse.
I do not know. I will leave that in the hands of the court.
Ukuthi ke uzocela inkantolo ke ukuthi lobo bufakazi lobo ke ingabamukeli angazi mina isinqumo esothathwa inkantolo leso.
Did you transport accused number 2 on the 13th of July 2020?
Ka di 13 ja July 2020 lile la sepedisha molatofatswa wa bobedi
a sa go pola ga re tshwanetse ke tsona be rile ka re sepela di pleke tse dintsi nka se re awa mara most of the time ba sepela na mara ele gona be re ya ka tlhalusha botse ta gona wara.
I do not recall. Perhaps if I could be given a location where we were going, myself and the accused, because in most of the occasions I would be the one that was transporting him. However, I do not recall where were we going on the 13th. I will not say yes, I was transporting him, or no, I was not transporting him, since I do not recall.
Ukuthi ke nge-13 ka July ngahamba naye ke umsolo wesibili kunyaka ka 2020 angeke ngithi yebo angeke ngithi cha mhlambe ke uma kuukuthi ngakhunjuzwa ke ukuthi sasiya kuphi nendawo ke ngoba ke ningi indawo la sasiya ngakhona ke futhi ke isikhathi esiningi wayehamba nami.
Yes, I'll remind you, because that was the first day accused number 2 appeared in Tlhabane court.
Barbatla go boja ka lebaka la gore ke lone letšatši la mathomo mo molatofatswa wa bobedi a ileng a tswelela kgorong ya Tlhabane.
That is not correct.
Hello? There's no?
That is not correct.
I see, it's not correct.
That's the version I'm putting to him.
Bare ke ntho e leng gore ba ya le botsa gore lena molatofatso o tsweletse ka di 19 June
13 July 2020. That's the version of
futhi ke ummeli uzokukhumbuza noma uzomtshela kufakazi ukuthi ke lelo langa lelo ke aqeda ukulisho ke manje lazo lange-13 kuyena-ke uNtulikazi ku-2020 kwakuyilanga lokuqala ayovela ngalo enkantolo-ke umsola wesibili umshushisi-ke uyaphikisa uthi cha akulona iqiniso lelo.
Asennete ka wa ka tšhatšhitekiso reng o tsweletse pela ga kgoro ya tlhabane ka di 22 of 6 2020 date of appearance e bontšha ka mo setlankaneng sa tšhatšhite.
That is incorrect, as the charge sheet that I have in my possession, it reflects that the accused appeared on the 22nd of June 2020 in Tlhabane Court.
Akusilona-ke iqiniso lelo uyasho-ke nayo ifakazi manje kumshushisi eshilo ukuthi-ke kwakungeyi-22 kuyena-ke uNhlangulana 2020 uma umsolo wesibili eyobingelela imantshi ihlandla lokuqala eTlhabane.
Gape ka di 13 tsa June be so kopanile yena moswara 13 July. Okay, no, sorry be gore.
My apologies, the witness just said on the 13th of June he had not met the accused. However, as he is corrected, he apologizes.
Sorry, Ms. Sergeant, what was the charge on the 22nd of June, as you say,
Mulato obe
when accused number 2 appeared?
Mulato obe barosche mulato fatwa ebe ilingi rene a tswelela kgorong.
Really possession of unlicensed live ammunition.
Possession of unlicensed live ammunition, my lord.
Iqala-ke awayelithweswa njengoba ngithi-ke wavela-ke ngeyi-22 kuNhlangulana 2020 kwakuwukutholakala-ke nazo iy'nhlamvu ngongekho emthethweni.
May I proceed?
Yes.
Sir, I've just informed the court that I don't have the records for the AVL on the 22nd of June 2020. Neither the logbook of the vehicle that were driving on the 22nd of June 2020. And yet you want the court to believe that accused number 2 is misleading the court or is not telling the truth.
Barabona ba fetsa go jwa go botsa kgoro gore ga bana tsona di document tša AVL gape le di logbook tša gore di 22 tša June molatofatšwa o be a le gona kwa kgorotshekelo gape le nagane jwale le nyaka gore kgoro e dumele gore molatofatšwa ga a bolele nnete.
Advocate Ngomezulu, I need AVL go bana bohlatse ya gore Mogane sa dintanzi o tsweletse pele ga kgoro ya Tlhabane shibo ke e tšhatšhite a ke tsona a le nako e exhibit RR.
Advocate Ngomezulu, we do not need the AVL records or the logbook to show that the accused appeared at Tlhabane Court. We have evidence here which is marked as Exhibit RR that Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi appeared in Tlhabane Court.
Asidingi-ke i-AVL kuloko kushoyo ukuthi-ke ngalelanga-ke lange-22 kuNhlangulana uBongani Sandiso Ntanzi wabingelela-ke imantshi yaseTlhabane nayo i-charge ngiyiphethe kumina bayiphawulile-ke nanjengo-Exhibit RR.
Because you're an officer, you will not need it. I don't think you'll see the relevance of that AVL. But let me just put it this way, just to cut matters short. On the 13th of July, 2020, that's the first time accused number 2 was changed his clothes. Constable Buthelezi phoned the girlfriend to bring the clothes of accused number 2 because they were in a hurry for him to appear in court. He was not going to appear in court on the clothes that he was wearing on that day.
Barre lena ka lebaka la gore le lephodisa
Since he was arrested,
le ka se bone botlhokwa ba gore di AVL jewe ba di tlhokelang jwaje ba re bona molatofatswa ka di 13 ja July o ba ka se tswelele kgorong a be a apere dikobo tse be a di apere go tlogelleng nako ela a sale a tshwarwa jwaje lephodisa Buthelezi le la letsetsa mo radiwa wa molatofatswa wa bobedi le mmotsa gore a tlishe dikobo tse di swa ka go itlhakanela gore molatofatswa a tlo kgona gore a fetole dikobo tse tlabeng a di apere e seng a tswelele kgorong ka dikobo tsela tse ba di apere nako e ge be a tshwara
a tlo kengo ke ganana le lena ka re go gopola botse motho ba dila ka diaparo le family ga ntshebe le the Sergeant Mabena a ke tsona Buthelezi o tsena kae mo ka re neno ba go no escort.
Advocate Ngomezulu, I would dispute that type of a version because the person that was dealing with the family and the changing of clothing, it's the late Mr. Mabena.
yes.
Because Mr. Buthelezi, he was just escorting us. I do not know how does he feature on the change of clothes.
Engizokutshela kona ke ukuthi kusho ummeli ke kufakazi uConstable Buthelezi waze ke waxhumana ke nentombi yakhe ke umsola wesibili ke ukuthi ilethe ingubo zokuthi ke ashintshe noma ke agqoke ngoba wayengazi ngoba ngeke ahamba enkantolo ngazo lezo i13 ka July esagqoke leziyana bekade egqokile ngaphambili uthi ke maphendula ufakazi ukuthi ke Advocate Mngomezulu angazi ke noma ke ngizophikisana ke nalokho okushoyo ukuthi uButhelezi uhlangana kuphi ke nokulethwa kweimpahla zokuthi kuyashintshe agqoke umsolo wesibili ngoba ke yena wayesiphelezela esescota nje kuphela umuntu kwakuyena ke owayexhumana nomndeni ukuthi ke kulethwe ke impahla noma ke ingubo zokuthi agqoke kwakungasekho noma useshonile uConstable Mabena.
Okay, but you will not dispute the fact that accused number 2 on that day was the first time to change his clothing.
Ifela lena le kasane tsane le bona ge ba re molatofatso wa bobedi e be la matho le khala mathomo a apara dikobo tse dingwe tša tšilego
nka ganana le lena ka re go gopola botse Sergeant Mabena o ile a rentša diaparo tša gage mara ke sa gopola ditlenene mara tsona sa le diatla.
I dispute that because if I remember very well, Sergeant Mabena arranged for the accused clothes. When did they bring the accused clothes? I would not recall. And my lord, I see accused number 2 is raising his hand.
Phambi ukuthi umelazeke kwena ke uthi ke kulokho ke kodwa ngeke uphikiseke ukuthi ngalela langa lange-13 kaJuly kwakukoqala ukuthi alethele ezinye impahla ke uma-accused number 2 uthi ke ngizophikisa ke lokho ngoba ke uMabena uzalethwa ke kodwa ngazi ukuthi nje bayiletha nini.
Thank you, Madam. May I just clarify this, Mr. Mogane, according to the instructions of accused number 2. There is Buthelezi, the friend to accused number 2, and Leboheng, the girlfriend of accused number 2.
Bare nke ba tlhakishe taba e gona le motho o eleng gore ke mogwera wa molatofatšwa wa bobedi e ba mmitšang ka Buthelezi gape gona le Leboheng e leng ngwanyana o ratanang le molatofatšwa wa bobedi. I am listening.
Ngimlaleleke uma uthi ukhona uButhelezi okumngani wakhe umsolo wesibili bese khona ke noLeboheng okuyena othandana naye ke umsolo wesibili.
According to his version, he says Constable Mapena, or the late Mapena, is the one who spoke to Leboheng to bring the clothes.
Bare go ya ka yena molatofatšwa wa bobedi o re mohu Mapena ke yena a boletšeng le ngwanyana a ratanang le molatofatšwa wa bobedi gore a tiše dikobo tša
ka re tšetše ke boletše e ka lo ba nnete ka re ke rile ke Sergeant Mapena o bega le a thuša ka lefapha leo le a diaparo le family ya gage le gore girlfriend ga ke mang a ke tsebe lebitso.
As I have stated that it was Sergeant Mapena that was dealing with the clothing, it could be true that he had spoken to those people. However, on who the girlfriend is, I do not know.
Uthi ke ummeli uMapena ke wayekhulumisana noLeboheng ukuthi bekuyena ke oletha ingubo zokuthi ke aqoke ke njengoba bese ngishilo ke ukuthi kwakuma impela ongasekho ke uSergeant Mapena ukuthi ke igama lentombi ke athandana nayo ubani lokho ke angikwazi.
And my correction was based on the fact that the clothes were brought by Buthelezi, who is the friend of accused number 2, and not Constable Buthelezi. I was under the impression because he said that Buthelezi also testified in court.
Bare bona bebaki poshulla motabengela ya gore dikobo di tlisitswe ke Buthelezi is Buthelezi mogwera wa molatofatšwa e seng Constable Buthelezi gobane molatofatšwa ba ba botse gore Buthelezi wa gona le yena o boletše kgorong.
Nka sa gale gore dikobo diaparo di tlile mara nka se tsebe botse di tlile ning di tlile le mang nka ba re ra kgonega re tlosa Sergeant Mapena a tle a hlatse go maroba le gape.
My Lord, I will not dispute on who has brought the clothes. However, I would not know when were the clothes brought, and if it was possible, we would resurrect Sergeant Mapena so that he come and testify, and then he goes back and rest in peace.
Uthi ke ummeli ebe lapho ke umsolo wesibili bemlungisa khona ke bemtshela ngoButhelezi ke ngoba ummeli yena becabanga ukuthi ke uConstable Buthelezi ngoba ushilo ke ukuthi uButhelezi onikezile ngokufakazi la enkantolo engikwazi ukuthi yebo ingubo zona ke zalethwa ukuthi zalethwa nini lethwa ubani ke angazi ke noma ngeke ngikwazi ke lokho mhlawumbe kuba bengenzeka ke bese ngathi sibuyise yena ke uMapena uma seqedile ukuchaza abuyeleke kuyona ke indawo yakhe yokulala ngokuthula.
The last question. When you were traveling from Pretoria North to Carltonville and to Rustenburg, were there any toll gates that you had to pass through?
Bare putsho ya mafelelo gebe le sepela le toga Pretoria North la ya Carltonville la boya la ya Phokeng go be gona le di toll gate mo mmileng tšebe le feta go tsona.
A ga re Phokeng ke tšemalwa.
When we were going to Phokeng, there were few toll gates.
Ingabe ke uma nihamba ke eCarltonville Pretoria North ePhokeng ngaba khona yini ama toll gates enadlula kuona ke yebo ke ePhokeng ayekhona ke ambalwa ke.
Thank you, Manat.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Mnisi.
Just few aspects.
Yes.
Please, my lord, just before Advocate Mrs. starts with cross-examination, there's a witness who's outside who's only available today, my lord. The expert on car movement, and I'm just wondering if we cannot stand down the cross-examination of Sergeant Mogane so that we take his evidence.
Mr. Mnisi, you're the boss. What do you say?
I've got an objection, my lord.
He says he doesn't have an objection. Are you able to attend court until about 3:30?
le ka kgona gore le dile gorong go fitlhelela motlhomo metsotso ya masometharo ka moraga iri ya boraro.
Ke tla ema ke matsogong a lena.
I will wait, my lord, as I'm in your hands.
But I don't have money to buy you lunches.
Ba re ga bana tšhelete ya go le rekela metsi le mazemba.
Okay. This evidence will stand down then.
Botlhatsi ba lena bo tla ema nakonyana go sana le tlhatsi e nngwe e leng gore e tlamehile e fane ka botlhatsi.
Ngiyacela kumshushisi ukuthi ke ake emeke uSergeant Mogane kunofakazi ke yena ke otholakala nje namhlanje phela ke lona ungoti ke mayelana nokuhamba kwemoto noma ke ungoti kule AVL report.
We are indebted to my learned friends and the court's indulgence. The state calls the next witness is Mr. Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Dupree, my lord. The witness name is not on the list.
Okay.
The witness is going to testify in respect of exhibit MM2. My lord, I've indicated to my learned friends this morning that the witness has printed his own report, my lord. It's exactly the same as exhibit MM2. However, he split his report in terms of dates: the 1st of June, the 5th of June, the 16th of June, the 18th of June, the 19th of June, as well as the 20th of June, my lord.
Okay.
There will thus be cross-reference between his bundle that he printed as well as exhibit MM2 that has already been handed up. We just request, my lord, that his bundle that he printed to be handed up as exhibit MM2. Maybe just to distinguish it from the existing exhibit MM2, we can call it exhibit MM2A.
MM2A, ne?
Yes, MM2A.
Yeah,
I'll just ask my learned friend just to add A to that exhibit.
Which language do you prefer to testify in, sir?
My lord, I'll do it in English.
English. Okay. Yes, swear the witness.
Your full name please.
Michael Jacobus Dupree.
Okay. Do you have any objection in taking the police flight oath?
No objection.
Do you consider the police flight oath to be binding on your conscience?
I'll do.
Do you then swear that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? If so, you raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
The witness is sorry.
Mr. Dupree, where do you work?
My Lord, I work for a company called Seatrack Fleet Management.
Seatrack.
That's correct.
Mr. Dupré uthi-ke usebenzela inkampani ebizwa-ke ukuthi-ke i-Seatrack Fleet Management.
And what is your position at that company? In what capacity are you employed by that company?
I'm currently employed in the capacity of the Chief Operations Officer.
Isikhundla sami-ke enginaso noma engisibambile-ke lapho-ke ngiyinhloko-ke kuyindlela-ke yokusebenza noma ekwenziwa ngayo-ke umsebenzi, Chief Operations Officer.
And what type of duties do you perform in the company?
My Lord, I'm primarily responsible for the operational execution within the company. That includes the everyday operations and also then training within the operations.
Mina-ke okwami ukubheka-ke nje ukuthi ukwenziwa komsebenzi-ke malanga namalanga-ke nokunikeza futhi-ke ngokuqeqesha laba kufanele ukuthi-ke baqeqeshwe noma-ke bathole i-training ngaphakathi-ke emsebenzini.
And what type of company is Seatrack Fleet Management?
My Lord, Seatrack provides fleet management solutions to the broader public and public sector, private sector, whereby we supply or provide solutions that allows various companies and individuals to manage their vehicle fleets and assets.
Okwethu-ke ukuthi-ke thina-ke kumphakathi-ke ney'nkampani ey'thize-ke sinikezeke ngomsebenzi la khona-ke abantu bakwisimo-ke noma bakhonayo ukuthi-ke babheke-ke ukuhamba-ke kwey'moto zabo.
Can you just explain, if you say providing a solution, what do you mean?
Solutions are provided by installing various types of hardware to vehicles or assets, allowing customers to view the asset in a platform that allows them to manage such asset to the better of the business.
Thina-ke sikwenzayo ukuthi-ke sinikeza-ke kwiy'nkampani-ke kubantu-ke abay'mele-ke iy'nhlobo-ke ey'thize zaloko kubizwa ngokuthi-ke ama-hardware kanye futhi-ke nendlela-ke sinikeze-ke iy'xazululo kwindlela-ke zokuthi umuntu akwazi noma inkampani ikwazi-ke ukuthi-ke ibheke ilandelele ibone-ke ukuthi lokho okuwokwakhe noma bakunayo-ke noma imoto noma yini ihamba kuphi isebenza kanjani.
And for how long have you been attached to Seatrack Fleet Management?
My Lord, I started my employment in 2001, so that makes it around about 22 years.
Ngaqala-ke ukusebenza khona lana-ke ngo-2001 okusho ukuthi iminyaka ewu-22 leyo.
You have prepared a bundle of documents that serves as Exhibit MM2 in brackets A.
That is correct, my Lord.
You have also been shown Exhibit MM2, is that correct?
That is correct, my Lord.
Nawo-ke ama-bundles lana-ke noma ama-documents alungiselwe yimina naye-ko MM2 lona-ke ekuyena lo setshenziswa la enkantolo ngimtshengisiwe.
Can you put on record the type of training that you underwent?
My Lord, in the 22 years that I've been employed in the company, we started off with product training at the time, and as time progressed, I was involved in training, development of old products, current products, new products, and also closely involved in the design of the product within the company on functions and features. So the product as it is today, I'm fairly confident that I understand and know how it works from beginning to end.
Uqala-ke uma sisiqala-ke uqeqesho esaluthola-ke noma engalithola-ke ngakuyona-ke inkampani kwakuqeqeshwa-ke mayelana-ke ne-product-ke noma amagama lokhu esisebenza ngakho noma lokhu esikusebenzisayo-ke ngokuhamba-ke kweminyaka-ke ila engibe ingxenye khona-ke eqeqesheni-ke mayelana nayo-ke i-product leyo ekuyithuthukiseni kanye futhi-ke ngasho-ke manje-ke ukuthi kule minyaka ewu-22-ke le product leyo-ke ukuthi-ke i-product-ke engiyaziyo-ke ukusebenza kwayo.
Is there someone within the company, within SeaTrack Fleet Management, who's called upon to testify on the product from time to time?
My Lord, that mostly falls on my responsibility to do such in various types of courts or disciplinary hearings.
Kumina-ke noma-ke umsebenzi-ke noma ngithwala lowo-ke esemahlombe ami-ke ukuthi-ke ngiyeke kwiyinkantolo ezahlukahlukeneke noma-ke kuyigxawuke ezoqondiswa kwey'gwegwe la uma kufanele ukuthi kube nomuntu onikezwa ngobufakazi.
Can you just place your experience on record as far as testifying in court is concerned?
My Lord, if memory serves me right, I've been testifying in various courts for at least 14 plus years, testifying on the functionality, features, product specification, the application thereof, how it is deployed in the field, how it functions, what information it provides. I've testified in high court, criminal, civil. I've testified in regional courts, CCMA matters, normal disciplinary matters. So I think I've covered the spectrum of courts, my Lord.
Ngathi-ke iminyaka-ke ewu-14 nokuya ngaphezulu-ke nginikeza ubufakazi noma ngithula ubufakazi-ke kwiyinkantolo, inkantolo ephakeme, inkantolo zesifunda, kuyigxawuke ze-CCMA, kuyindawo nje ezahlukahlukeneke. Ngichaza-ke ngokusebenza kwayo-ke le product lena-ke ukuthi-ke isetshenziswa kanjani-ke nokuthi futhi ifakwa kanjani.
Are you involved in any training regarding the product?
My Lord, the training department currently reports to me. So, yes, I'm closely involved in training of staff members as well as clients of ours on the functionality and features of the solutions we provide.
Laba-ke noma-ke i-section lena-ke ye-training-ke bona ba-reporta kumina-ke ukuthi ngisebenzisana nabo-ke ngiyabaqeqesha-ke abangaphakathi-ke emsebenzini kanye futhi nawo ama-clients-ke nawo ngiyabanikeza-ke uqeqesho ukuthi-ke ama-feature kanye futhi nendlela yokusebenza kwayo i-product lena ukuthi ihamba kanjani.
Are you involved in any training beyond the shores of this country?
My Lord, I've been involved in training in the middle, or the, what do I call it, Middle East, not really Middle East, but the eastern side of our world, in Malaysia. I've worked in Australia on projects. I've worked in America, Africa. So yeah, that's the extent of my services abroad.
Ngisebenzile-ke kwindawo eziningi-ke la noma nginikeza khona-ke uqeqesho noma-ke i-training i-America-ke ichazile, i-Africa, i-Australia kanye futhi-ke ne-Malaysia.
Now, does your company, SeaTrack Fleet Management, have any relationship with the South African Police Service?
Yes, my Lord. SeaTrack Fleet Management provides solutions, or a solution to the South African Police Force in terms of a AVL system, automated vehicle locator, that we install in the SAPS vehicles.
Yebo siyasebenzisana-ke namaphoyisa-ke aseNingizimu Afrika kwiy'moto zabo-ke sifaka lokhu-ke noma-ke i-system ebizwa ngokuthi-ke i-AVL.
Mr. Dupree, you can continue and tell the court in your own words how this product works and the nature of the relationship with the South African police.
My Lord, the nature of the relationship with the South African Police Force is we've been awarded a tender to install these tracking devices in this SAPS fleet. We've been doing so for a number of years. And the system entails that we...
Just a minute. Just give the interpreter a chance.
Indlela ke esisebenza ngayo namaphoyisa ke ukuthi sanikezwa ke lo msebenzi phecelezi ke le tender ke yokuthi sifake ke kwiimoto zabo ke le system ke lena ibizwa ngokuthi iyona iAVL futhi ke sekuyiminyaka ke sisebenzisana nabo.
It involves our staff installing hardware in the SAPS vehicles. This hardware is equipped with a GPS.
Lokho ke kuhlanganisa ke noma kufaka ke ukuthi ke abasebenzi bethu ke noma istaff sethu ke bafake ke ama hardware kwiimoto zawo amaphoyisa ke futhi leyo hardware leyo ke ine GPS.
There's also a GSM modem with a SIM card in it, and this device is then connected to the wiring of the SAPS vehicle.
SIM card.
Yeah, that's good.
Futhi ke kufakwa ke okubizwa ngokuthi ke imodem ke kuyona ke le imodem ke eGMS ene SIM card kuyona.
Can I just explain?
What did you say after the SIM card? Sorry.
Connected to the vehicle.
Okay. Futhi ke yona ke ehlanganiswa noma ke connectwa ke kuyona ke imoto.
Can I ask you to explain these technical terms as you go along? GPS stands for?
GPS represents Global Positioning System. That is just a normal location service. Allows us to know where the vehicle is.
General picture.
GPS, Global Positioning System.
iGPS yona ke i-Global Positioning System yona ke echazayo ke ukuthi noma ke ikunikeza ke ukuthi ikuphi nendawo ke.
Yes, and GSM?
GSM is the cellular network, the simple term for it, as we all know it. So it's just a means of communication from the device to another environment. So it's communication, cellular communication.
Lana ke iGSM lona ke uxhumana ke lokho okhona ke phakathi kwayo i-device lena ke kanye futhi ke ne-location noma indawo ke ethize.
Yes.
The system would then allow, the system installed is connected to the vehicle, and that allows us to know whether the vehicle is switched on, switched off, is it traveling, is it standing still, at which speed is it, and where is it.
Lana ke lokhu nje lokuxhumana lokhu ke la engithi khona ke lokhu kuxhumana phakathi kwale system ebizwa ngokuthi iGSM iyona ke esichazelayo ukuthi imoto yenzani, imoto iyahamba, imoto imile, imoto ixeshiwe ke futhi ke isiphi isivinini ehamba ngaso.
The data collected on the vehicle is then relayed or transferred or transmitted over the GSM network to a centralized environment located in Numerus.
Let's take that slow. Can you repeat? Let's take that slow. Can you repeat?
The data provide or
raise your voice. Yeah.
The data recorded
yes
by the system on the vehicle.
Yes. Lokhu ke noma le mininingwane etholakalayo ke iyayo imoto ekhona ke
is transmitted via the GSM network, the cellular network.
Iyandluliswa ke idluliswa ngayo ke the network lena ke ibizwa ngokuthi iGSM
to a centralized environment in Numerus.
Ithathwa ke isiwe ke kwindawo ke centralized noma ke emaphakathi ke kulona lokho okubizwa ngokuthi iNumerus.
And what is Numerus?
That's it's the Numerus is just a building name. That is the premises of the State Information Technology Agency.
State
Information.
Or SITA.
Yeah, SITA.
Lana ke nje uNumerus lona ke kusho nje ibility ke ukuthi ke ngathi ke State Information Technology Agency.
The AVL data is housed in this environment, and from this environment it can be accessed by registered users.
Lana ke manje ke le information ke manje ke ila indluliswa noma ke igcinwa khona lapho ke ukusuka lapho ke ingathi ke manje isiyandluliswa noma ke futhi ikwazi utholwa yilaba abanelungelo noma abamele ukuthi ke bayisebenzise.
Such registered users, my lord, will only have access to vehicles that they are allowed to see or is allocated to their cost center.
Futhi ke labo ke bazokwazi noma bazokhona kuphela ke ukuthi babone imoto abayisebenzayo abasebenza ngazo noma abanelungelo lokuthi ke bayibone.
Just to make it simple, that a specific police station will only have access to that police station's vehicle, and certain divisions within that police station will only have access to their specific division's vehicle. So it's not everybody seeing everybody's vehicles.
Ukwenza nje ukuthi kubelula ke ukuchaza ke lokho ukuthi ke istation esithize samaphoyisa isona ke esizokhona ke ukuthi siboneke izimoto zabo ke futhi ke uhlaka ke oluthule noma ke iunit ethile kuleyo police station leyo bazobona izimoto eziwa ngaphansi kwaleyo unit leyo, akusi ukuthi ubani uzobona ke abheke noma yini.
All this data collated over a period of time is then stored in a database.
Futhi konke ke yonke le mininingwane manje ke ese ihlanganisiwe ke etholakele ngesikhathi noma ngokuhamba ke kwesikhathi izo ifakwa ke kuloko kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-database.
And from in with this data, users, authorized users, can gain access to historical data of a vehicle for a defined period.
Futhi ke laba abaselungelweni ke noma abavumelekile ke ukuthi babheke ke noma basebenzise lezo imoto lezo ke bazokhona ukuthi manje babheke ke isikhathi ke esithize bebheka imoto ethize.
Hence, users being available to compile data like we have in court today, giving detailed data of a vehicle over a period of time, though it be a number of years later.
Ingakho ke labo ke abavumelekile ke noma ke abanelungelo ke bekhona ke noma bekwazi ke ukuthi manje balethe ke lokhu esize nako ke la enkantolo namhlanje ke lombiko ke noma ke le data ke noma sekudlule isikhathi seminyaka ethize.
I think that's about the system in a nutshell, my lord.
Indlela ke isystem leyo esebenza ngayo.
And once the registered users are able to access the data, how is that information then packaged?
My lord, depending on the type of report compiled, and I'll use the reports in question we have in front of us today.
Kuya ngokuthi ke umbiko okanjani ke ngokufuna ukwazi ke uma ngabe leyo mbiko manje usuhlanganisiwe ke ugcinwa kanjani ke kuya ngokuthi umbiko kanjani ke ngizosebenzisa lona ke engize nawo la enkantolo namuhla.
The report will be compiled based on a specific vehicle identification or registration number.
Umbiko uzohlanganiswa ke uma kuya ngokuthi ke no osikunikiwe ke noma imininingwane esinikiwe yemoto okufana ke ne registration
and a period of time.
Kanye futhi nesikhathi imoto lesi esetshenziswe ngaso.
On the requesting the report, a command is executed whereby data for this period is then extracted from the database.
Uma ke kutholakala ke isicelo noma umbiko lona ke kukhishwa ke umbiko ngokumayela nesikhathi esithize.
It is then provided in a visible format on a computer screen.
Bese iyakhishwa ke la ibonakala khona ke ku screen se computer,
from where the user can then print such document in a PDF format.
Bese kuthi loyo ke manje uyakwazi ke ukuthi uyayiprinta ke noma lokho okubonayo ke ku-computer uyaprinta kule format ke ebizwa ngokuthi noma kule ndlela ke ebizwa ngokuthi yi-PDF.
And the document can be reproduced a number of times in the exact same format with the exact same data. So what I'm trying to say is it's reproducible, and it would be the same if whether I produce it today or I produce it in 3 years' time or I produce it for 3 years ago, it would be the same data.
Noma ke umsungayenza ke noma isikhathi sesithinike noma ungakhipha namuhla kweminyaka elandelayo ke emithathu noma kwiminyaka endlulile emithathu izophuma ingendlela eyodwa, kusho ukuthi ke angeke kushintshe lutho.
Did you receive a request in this matter regarding a specific vehicle?
That is correct, my Lord.
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi isicelo ngasithola ke kuleli cala mayelana nemoto ethize.
And upon receiving these requests, what did you do?
My Lord, upon receiving the request, we extracted the data from the SAP's AVL database.
Uma sesisicelo leso sicelo leso ke sayikhipha ke idata leyo ke kwi AVL ye-SAPS,
and produced a paper copy we have here today.
Esasesikhipha ke amakhophi ke ephepha ke noma ke paper copy le esinayo ke la namuhla.
You're referring to exhibit MM2 in brackets A, the one that you've printed?
That is correct, my Lord.
Khuluma ngalena ke engiyiprintile.
There's also an A3 version, exhibit MM2. Can you just identify that for us?
Yes, my Lord. This version MM2 is an exact copy of the version or the documents I compiled. This is just in a different form factor, being that it was printed on A3 paper with a lot of the headings and stuff removed to gain real estate, to have more data on a single page.
Lena ke enkulu ke esinayo ke ekuyilena ke esetshenziswayo ke la enkantolo iyona ke ngamashi lena ke mina ke engiyiprintile ukuthi nje umehluko ke kuyona ke ukukhishwe nje ama topics la kubhaliwe ke khona ke ngaphezulu, kodwa yona futhi yenziwe ke kwi A3.
Can you just perhaps explain to the court what information is supplied by the C-track system?
My Lord, the information supplied would be the vehicle itself, the registration of it.
Imininingwane ezokhishwa ke iyona ke uStrack lona ke imayela nemoto i-registration.
It will also reflect the bobby number as we refer it to. That's the B registration plate linked to that specific registration number.
Futhi ke izokhipha ke lokuthi na ke esikubiza ke njenge bobby number ile B registration plate iyayo ke moto leyo.
It will also then display the date and the time.
Izochaza ke ilanga noma ke i-date kanye nesikhathi.
The vehicle status is reflected, and the vehicle status would be: is the vehicle driving? Is it switched off? What is the vehicle doing at that particular date and time?
Isizochaza ke nesimo ke sayo imoto. Masikhuluma ngesimo ke sikhuluma ngokuthi imoto iyahamba, imoto imile, imoto iyaduma ngaleso sikhathi leso.
It will also display the speed and the odometer of the vehicle, the odometer being the delta that refers to the distance traveled between two positions.
Isizochaza ke nesivinini imoto ehamba ngaso ke ibese ichaza ke naloko kubizwa ngokuthi i-auto ke ibanga ke phakathi kweindawo ezimbili ezahlukene imoto ehambile ngaleso sikhathi.
And then the location of the vehicle is reflected as a point of reference on the map, and also a longitude and latitude.
Bese chaza ke i-location noma ke indawo leyo ke kwi-map ke ngathi ke imoto etholakala ekuyona noma la ikhona.
And how does the AVL system works? What events are described and reported by the AVL unit?
My Lord, if I can try and put them in some form of logical order, it would show the vehicle starting.
Uma ngaqala ngale ndlela ngisho ngale ndlela ke izoyitshengisa ke imoto uma iduma dunyiswa.
Then it would show the vehicle when it's driving.
Izoyitshengisa ke imoto uma ihamba.
It will show the vehicle when it's stationary but still idling.
Izoyitshengisa ke imoto uma imile kodwa isaduma.
It will show the driver behavior in the form of either overspeeding or harsh braking.
Izotshengisa ke nesimo ke somshayeli ke lana sikhuluma ngokuthi ke weqile kwisivinini noma futhi ke indlela ke abamba ngayo ama brake.
And then it will show the vehicle being switched off again, the ignition being off.
Izotshengisa ke noma ke imoto ise icishwa ke ingasadumi.
And then obviously there would be various alarm types. For instance, if the battery is disconnected, it would give you a battery tamper.
Noma ukuthi ke mhlambi ke unenkinga ekhona ke ebhetrini ke izokutshela ke ukuthi ke kukhona ke okwenzakeleke noma okwenzakalayo ngayo ibhetri.
I think that's about the highlights of the status has been available.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ke yilokho ke ekhuluma ke noma kusho ke ngesimo ke sayo.
Right, and can we maybe ask you to explain the various terminology like GPS unlock?
My Lord, the term GPS unlock, and maybe I should just go one back, for a GPS to give a position.
Uma ngabuyela umuva ke uma khulunywa nge-GPS unlocked ukuthi ke GPS ikunikeze ke i-location noma indawo ke
that specific receiver in the C-track unit
leyo ke itholayo noma lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-receiver kuyona ke i-unit leyo ye-C-track
needs to receive data from a number of GPS satellites orbiting the Earth.
Ifanele ke ukuthi ke itholeke manje ke noma ke itholeke kuma satellite ahlukene kodwa ingatholi kweyodwa i-satellite.
How many satellites, Mogane?
To give a position with a longitude, latitude, and altitude, you would need a minimum of 4 satellites data to being available.
Kuzodingeka ke ukuthi ke utholeke i-data ke kuma satellites angawu-4.
Given the device have 4 satellites available, we will give an accurate longitude, latitude, and altitude, which is then reverse geocoded to a point on a map, which will then give you a coordinate.
Lokho ke uma sewutholike lama satellites awu-4 ke wona ke manje isizokunikeza ke indawo osungaqela noma ubheke kuyona i-map noma lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke i-coordinate.
In the absence of data from 4 or more satellites, the system would not be able to give longitude, latitude, and altitude, and in the absence of such, we would then refer to a status as GPS unlock.
Manje ke uma kuwukuthi ke awutholi ke imininingwane ke noma ke i-data ke kulama satellites awu-4 noma ke angaphezulu kwawu-4 ilapho ke manje esizokunikeza ke isimo noma ke i-status lesi ke la ishoyo ukuthi manje i-GPS unlocked.
While in this GPS unlock state, the last valid position recorded would be the prevailing position.
Usekuyena ke lo GPS unlocked indawo yokugcina ke kuzoba ke iyona ke leyo ke noma indawo leyo yangaleso sikhathi.
And that's only being done because that is the last valid data being available, my Lord.
Ngoba ke lokho kuzobe ke kuyiyona ke idata yokugcina ke engasetshenziswa noma ekhona ke ngaleso sikhathi leso.
And can a driver of a vehicle tamper with the system in any way?
My Lord, these devices are installed in out of sight and without the driver or the user of the vehicle knowing where it is installed. So it is, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's unlikely that a individual would just fiddle with it.
Umshushu sifuna ukwazi-ke ukuthi uyakwazi yini umshayeli wemoto ukuthi-ke angaphazamisana-ke nokusebenza kwale ndlela-ke noma nokusebenza-ke kwale system. Mephendula-ke uthi uma ngabe isifakwa-ke kuleyo moto efakwa kuyona-ke ifakwa kungekho-ke obonayo noma-ke akaboni-ke sisho-ke mshayeli kodwa nje ayibona uma ngabe ifakwa indawo le efakwa kuyona-ke uthi angeke athi-ke akusiyona into engeke yenzeke-ke kodwa-ke nje akacabangi njena-ke ukuthi kayinto-ke elula-ke nje ukuthi umuntu angayenzi ukuthi aphazamisane-ke nokusebenza kwale system.
And can the data that is stored on the numerous, the SITA, as we explained, be tampered with in any way?
My Lord, without a very intimate knowledge of the system, it is virtually impossible. The data is protected by various firewalls, encryption. It is stored in an environment that is designed to store data, and then data is also stored in a very definite sequence.
Kunzima kakhulu-ke usiyabiza ukuthi manje kwibhilidi-ke noma kwindawo noma isitha le uyichazile-ke khona-ke lapho kulula yini ukuthi-ke uphazamise nje ukusebenza kwale ndlela-ke uthi-ke uma-ke ungenalo-ke ulwazi olujulile-ke lokusebenza kwayo le system lena-ke uthi yinto nje engalula-ke ukuthi ungayenza-ke futhi nangendlela futhi egcinwa ngayo nendawo-ke egcinwa kuyona-ke.
Hence, if somebody tries to alter data, the chronological order of data would appear out of sequence and out of logical reason, which will then reflect as tampered with. And you can always go back and just compile a new report, and the original will be there if somebody finds means to tamper with it.
Uma kuwukuthi-ke umuntu uthola indlela-ke yokuthi-ke aphazamisana-ke nokusebenza kwayo-ke izothi uma iphuma-ke ila uzoyibona khona-ke ukuthi-ke ukulandelelana-ke kwenzeka-ke kwezahlakalo noma kwezinto-ke yila usungakhona khona-ke ukuthi ubuyele emuva-ke manje uyoyikhipha-ke kahle-ke ngendlela yokulandelelana kwayo.
You mentioned that the user can access data on the numerous system. Are there any requirements for a user to access such data?
My Lord, yes. Within the South African Police Service, they have very specific protocol whereby a user must be authorized if he would first apply in a form of a document. He would then be authorized by a number of officers before he can just get access, and that access then is then granted based on his authorization on vehicle or organizational type.
Lana-ke ukuthi ngaphakathi-ke emaphoyiseni basebenza kanjani-ke ukuthi umuntu atholeke le information noma le mininingwane-ke baney'ndlela zabo-ke abayilandelayo ngaphakathi-ke emaphoyiseni ukuthi umuntu-ke okokuqala-ke kuzofanele-ke ukuthi-ke atholeke imvume noma-ke igunya-ke lokuthi-ke akwenzeke lokho futhi-ke uzondlula-ke kubantu abahlukeneke abazomnikeza-ke kona lokho futhi-ke uzochaza-ke ngokwesikhathi-ke futhi nangokwemininingwane ukuthi yini ayifunayo.
Is there a way to determine who access the data?
My Lord, yes, there's record of every transaction. So every time a person logs in, he needs to authenticate himself by a username and a password, and that is logged in a log file. It would therefore be easy to say who logged on when and was doing what.
Futhi ke kunendlela ke yokulandelela ke noma yokuthola ke ukuthi bekuwubani ke ologe in noma ke osebenzileke lana ngokuthi futhi kuzofanele ke fake lokho kubizwa ngokuthi ke igama lakhe noma i-username kanye futhi ke ne-password kuzoba lula ke kumlandelela ke kamuva ukubheka ukuthi ngesikhathi esithize ngelanga elithile ubani obengenile noma ke ethole ekhipha imininingwane.
Are there any registration requirements for such users?
My Lord, each member that is granted access is registered against these South African Police Services profile with his force number, name detail, unit detail. So it's his whole pedigree is registered against that user.
Futhi ke umuntu osebenzisa ke noma ke okwaziyo ke ukuthi abe user ke lapha imininingwane yakhe yonke nje ngaphakathi ke eyasemaphoyiseni i-force number yakhe igama lakhe isikhundla sakhe noma ukuthi ke i-unit yakhe ke yonke leyo mininingwane ikhona.
You have compared the data that you have compiled, MM2A, against Exhibit MM2, the A3 version. What is your
My Lord,
view regarding
my Lord, this is an exact
the exhibit?
Exact copy of the data. There's a 100% match in data. The only difference is that the police insignia was removed from the document and the wording movement report. But as for the physical data that is recorded, it is a exact match.
This was moved this one.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that is more sure.
Uthi ke uma uqhathanisa lokho kubili ke ukuthi nje into eyodwa ke lena ke uthi ngathi ke 100% umehluko nje ukuthi la kunale yamaphoyisa ke tshengisayo ukuthi amaphoyisa engekho ke khona lana kanye futhi nalana bhaliwe movement report kodwa njena into nje eyodwa le lama documents amabili.
Do you confirm the correctness of the report that you've compiled or that you've printed, Exhibit MM2 in brackets A and Exhibit MM2?
I do confirm the correctness, my Lord.
Futhi ke ngiyaqinisekisa ke nokuthi ke lokho ke okhona ke kule ku MM2A lona ke okuwami no MM2 ukuthi ke ngempela ke kukanjalo noma kuyiqiniso.
If I can ask you to turn to page 6 of Exhibit MM2A on the 19th of June. My Lord, I see that it's time for the long adjournment.
Is that so?
Yes. Can we then take the long adjournment at this point?
Are you available after lunch, sir?
Excuse me, my Lord.
Are you available after lunch?
Yes, I do. I will be available, my Lord.
Yeah, because I hear that you're squeezed for time, like all capitalists. Okay, 2 o'clock then.
All right.